The following audio that you are about to listen to, which is approximately 24 minutes in length, is the audio recording of the conversation between Josh Duggar and the two detectives with Homeland Security. This is from back in 2019 when they were investigating the possession and download of child pornography that was associated with his ISP. Trying to play a fishing expedition with these investigators, if you will, into what do you know? Tell me what you know about what I've been doing and what you think I've been doing.
I own this business, and then I also do some real estate as well.
What do you do? You got your real estate license?
I do not. No, we manage. My dad has commercial properties, so I help him with management of that.
Okay.
I dabble in a lot of things. This is probably my primary income as far as that goes.
Okay. And how long did you say that you've had this here?
We moved here in June of last year, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm. So June here at wholesale?
Yes.
Okay. And your internet provider?
Is Ozarks Go.
And how long have you had them?
I don't exactly remember.
And do you guys operate on like a Wi-Fi here, or?
So, yes and no. We've had several different things. In fact, last week I changed it because we had I think there's 3 routers in there right now. I honestly can't remember. But we had it daisy chained to where we had different, so we could send it out over the lot so we could get to each edge to be able to take pictures and things like that and post them up. Because our cell service is not real great down here in the valley. So, but I think I probably have 2 routers in there hooked up. One's more the long range and one's closer up.
Okay. 2 routers. And are they password protected or secure?
I believe one of them is. The other one I think is more like a guest network. But I think that's why I've got them separated right now.
Okay.
And yet last week I changed the configuration on the router because the one was open. The one that said the main one up, but where actually the modem comes in.
Uh-huh. Okay. And you said you didn't have very good cell service here, huh?
Well, depending on the provider.
Who do you have for
AT&T and Verizon. Well, I have Verizon, but we've had both.
That's on your personal phone? Or?
Yes, on my personal phone.
Okay. And what's that number?
479 200 2681.
Okay. And you said AT&T on another one, or?
I don't have any. I used to, but AT&T is I know there's, and then Sprint we can't really get any signal here for them.
Okay. How long have you had Verizon?
I don't know. I don't recall.
How about in your residence, electronics there?
Electronics? What do you mean by that?
Like computers, other phones, anything like that?
I mean, my wife has a phone. But not any more that I possess. I mean, I have in the past, and I've recently upgraded my phone. So, I mean, as far as that goes, I don't want to.
All right. Email? You got email accounts?
Yes.
What would that be?
So my email is joshuaduggar@icloud.com. It's my full name.
Sir, if you don't mind, we go back real quick to those electronics. I know Agent Accorda mentioned in your home residence, but for the reason of why we're here today, what are we talking about? Electronics on scene.
Okay.
So you have your cell phone, right?
Got my cell phone, and then there's a laptop in that RV over there.
Okay. right, now let's do one by one. The phone, that was one that you had in your pocket, right?
Right, in my pocket.
Who else has access to that phone?
Well, depending on sometimes I have a guy that works with me. He'll take pictures sometimes with the phone.
So outside of you, other people will possibly have. Is it password protected?
Yeah, it's not very secure. I mean, everybody knows it. My kids use it quite a bit. My wife, mostly family and friends.
Is it
it's
a
not
swipe
like I would hand it around.
passcode or is it a PIN numeric?
It's a PIN.
What's the PIN number for it?
Am I required to give that to you?
You're not.
Okay, I'd rather not.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get a little bit more into the forensic side of stuff.
No, that's fine.
You said a laptop. That's the one in the RV, right?
Yes.
So
It is password protected as well.
Is that yours?
Yes.
Who else would have access to that?
Same kind of deal. We use it for kids watching movies, browsing online, whatever.
Okay.
It doesn't get used all that much.
But it is password protected?
Yes.
Just one password or multiple?
Well, so it's password protected in the fact that if you log in, I think it'll automatically log you in. But if you're, if you go to, it sits idle, it'll lock up sometimes. I don't know exactly how I have it set.
But in terms of ownership, that is your laptop. In terms of the phone, that is your phone.
Yes.
We noticed inside of the whatever, I don't know which one is your office, but the one over here that has the open sign, that there was another computer in there.
Yes, that's an HP. That computer is, it's now password protected, but pretty much the guys that work here are the ones that use it.
Okay.
And so there's, different.
So there's currently a password on it right now?
Yes, there is. Yeah, and the password's written. I mean, I have it written around so the guys know. So it's not like, it's just mainly to keep somebody from breaking in and accessing files.
Oh, no, I understand. Right.
Whatever.
And so, computer in the office, laptop in the RV, your cell phone, and then your coworker's cell phone.
Yeah, and then there's also, they reminded me, there's a hard drive probably in the security system, which is up above.
Oh, for your surveillance?
Right, for surveillance
But
system.
you only use that to recover?
It's not active right now. I mean, I didn't tell anybody else that, but I'm just
we don't plan on breaking in.
No,
So
I'm just saying it's.
We won't give up the secret. How long for your cell phone? How long have you had that?
I bought it probably a week after it came out, the iPhone 11.
So guessing, I don't need an exact day.
2 months maybe.
2 months ago?
2 months. Yeah, 2 or 3 months.
All right. What about that laptop?
The laptop I've had for probably 5 years.
5 years, and that's the one that's in the RV?
Yes.
All right. What about the desktop that's in there?
Desktop, I think I've had that for 2.5 years, 3 years, something like that.
And then that hard drive, if you can remember.
That's probably 7 years maybe. It's an old one.
Okay. That kind of helps us narrow things down.
Right.
So what?
I don't think there's any others in there. I mean, honestly, I can't remember. I might have an old, phone laying around or something somewhere.
In the RV or in the office?
I know there's an old phone in the back of this Honda, but we found it in the car. It's not like
what about any other type of? Now, when we talk about electronics, I know a lot of people often just jump to cell phones, tablets, laptops, things of that nature. But also electronic devices that store thumb drives.
So there's probably more than one thumb drive in there. I don't know how many in the office.
You pointing this one on the right.
In the office on the right. There's also 2 cameras in there. Both of those have the ability to record, I think, on them. I don't know if any of them actually have any SD cards or anything in them. I don't know.
Right. And those thumb drives, are those yours? Are they your coworkers or?
I don't know. I don't actually know because I don't think I have it. There might be one in that laptop bag as well. But they would all be. I mean, if they're here, they're here. I don't know. We find stuff in cars all the time.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah. I mean, we find when he's cleaning underneath the seats, he'll find money. I mean.
You name it.
Yeah, pretty much everything. I don't want to say everything we find. But
so that's more of a lost and found of thumb drives that's in the office right now.
Right.
But then the one.
We may have wiped some of them and used them because we do car photos mostly is what we're doing.
Right. So, I know Agent Acock kind of alluded to the fact that what we do, we're part of a specialized task force. That task force is called the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force.
Yep.
Based on an ongoing investigation, we were able to directly connect, actually one of our task force affiliates in the Eastern District was able to directly connect to a certain IP address that was participating in the uploading and sharing of known videos and images of child pornography.
Okay.
That information was then sent to us because the IP geolocated back into the Western District, somewhere in Northwest Arkansas.
So it was transmitting or receiving?
At this point, I probably best that you just listen, okay?
Okay.
We were able to get from this IP address one specific video of child pornography and one folder containing approximately 65 images of child pornography from a specific IP address. We then, once that information was turned over to us, because of the fact that it was geolocated in Northwest Arkansas, we served a federal summons for that IP address. That IP address came back to Ozarks Go with a subscriber of Joshua Duggar with cell phone, I'm assuming that's personal cell phone, with that email address that you just mentioned. Now it came back to a P.O. box. We kind of briefly talked about this when we got on scene. So their service address from Ozarks Go has you at this lady's house down the street.
Well, that's where it is. Okay.
That's where it is, because Washington County property records have not updated or separated your land from this lot. So your actual physical address, which we had to find out, and Ozarks Go does not have, they've corrected now because this poor lady keeps getting your mail, as to what it is right now.
Okay.
Based on all that information, we were able to determine that this was the business where downloads of child pornography had occurred.
Okay.
It came from, or it occurred on two separate dates, which are believed to be approximately May 14th and May 15th of 2019, through a uTorrent software. And that's why I was asking you earlier to make sure we understood or we're on the same page with what TOR is, TOR, and what torrent is. And everything, again, was at the late night hours, let's say roughly from what we can estimate, between 10 and 11.
Okay.
So based on all that information, a federal search warrant was obtained for the property and everything on it, to include the RVs, office, and vehicles, to find out or look for electronic devices that possibly were responsible for those downloads or uploads of child pornography.
Okay.
That's what's gotten us here today. And that's why you see some of our questions were tailored around electronics, who has access, who has ownership, knowledge of certain softwares and forensic or peer-to-peer groups. And, at this stage, all we're trying to do, and I'll tell you this, I didn't know much about you leading up to this until I did, some research in the last 2 weeks. Man to man, I don't know how you do it. It is amazing to me what the media is putting you through on a daily basis. All because of stuff which would be considered speculation by most parts. We don't want to speculate. That's why we came here. We tried to be as courteous as possible and have a one-on-one or a conversation to figure out who's doing this on this lot, because these are not actors and actresses that are in these videos and images that we know came from here. Okay? These are somebody's little boy, little girl. At the end of the day, that's our main objective, is to find out who's doing it, so that we can, or what electronic devices is being done on, so we can get those devices and take these images back off the internet so that these kids aren't re-victimized.
So they're being, I guess I have quite a few questions about it, but I don't know, how much you can divulge, but I'm curious, you're saying there's images being uploaded or images being downloaded?
That the IP address from this lot had child pornography associated to it in a peer-to-peer software program. And our task force affiliate was able to download that video and images from the folder of the IP address to this.
Gotcha.
This thing. Well, that's one of the things too, and I know Agent Hickok had also spoke about this briefly. Those individuals you see walking around, we didn't just decide to wake up this morning and come here. So we did our homework, and we've been doing this for almost a decade now. We're pretty good at what we do.
I appreciate the work you guys do.
Thank you. But these forensic guys are some of the best in the country.
That's great.
What they do is they take electronic devices and they, through third-party software or through certain forensic software, without altering or deleting anything that's on those electronic devices, can go in and see a digital fingerprint of anything and everything that's ever happened. So if there's an electronic device, and that's why we're trying to get ahead of the game, if there's an electronic device that possibly might have this video or images or anything associated like that that's on it, we'd like to know now, because once we leave here today, it's kind of the end of our conversation and we wrap everything up, and then we don't have anything else to go on other than, no, I don't know anything about it, and then we see it and it's like, okay, well, we had an opportunity to talk about that.
Right.
Why wasn't it addressed then?
Right.
You see what I'm getting at?
Right.
But as long as you're confident that there's no, or at least, and
I don't want to be. I've watched my friends, answer things, and they get them for conspiracy or for something, and I'm not. I know federal statutes are broad, and there's a lot of things to it, and I'm not going to say anything that's going to
we don't
incriminate me or anything at all. I don't want to. I'm not. I'm not denying guilt, and I'm not saying that I'm. As far as anything goes, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
At the end of the day, you need to protect yourself.
Yeah, I don't want to say that I'm guilty or not. I'm just not saying, on accessing inappropriate content at some point, at any point in my life.
We are trying to figure out what led us to this business.
Okay.
That's going to involve stuff that's been either uploaded or downloaded onto the internet. I know Agent Aycock had mentioned just now a while ago about uTorrent files. Well, and Drew, we'll play this out question by question. Yeah. You tell me what you feel comfortable with. Do you know or do you remember Napster back in the day? Napster was a file sharing program where millions of users throughout the world could get online and download music files. So if I had an entire album of, say, Garth Brooks, I could upload it into Napster.
I'm familiar. It was probably a little before my time, but yeah.
I'm showing my age.
Familiar with it.
But that's
31.
Yeah, well, I'm 41, so you got me. But that was what was called a peer-to-peer file sharing network, and now it's evolved. Over the years, it's turned into where these particular programs not only share music files, but they share video files, software programs, documents, you name it. Are you familiar with, or do you know anything about peer-to-peer file sharing networks?
I'm familiar with, I guess you could say.
Okay. Have you ever used or do any of these electronics currently on the property have any of those types of software downloaded onto them?
Yes.
Okay. Which devices are we talking about?
Probably all of them.
All, so, and I just want to make sure, again, we're not here to put words in your mouth. So when you say all, and I'm thinking...
Well, okay, I won't say all, because I'm going to say the laptop, the phone, and the computer in the office.
Okay, so laptop in the RV.
Yes.
Okay. The phone...
I believe, to the best of my knowledge.
Right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Again...
I don't know if they actually all have them.
We're not here to pin you in a corner on any of your answers.
Right.
The laptop that's possibly on the laptop in the RV.
Right.
Possibly on the phone that you had on you, right? Your phone, not Randall's.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then
I don't know about Randall's.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have a conversation very similar to what we were having with you when we're done. If he wants to talk to us, and then possibly peer-to-peer networks on the HP that's in the.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess that's what Agent Aycock was kind of getting to.
Like a Tor browser or a Tor. We upload stuff for our cars and things like that. I've had a friend of mine that came and set up with file sharing, so we could do more encrypted type stuff. He just said it's safer that way. He got me onto it to be safer.
I want to make sure that we're clear. When you say Tor, my definition. There's kind of
I actually don't know the definition, so I don't really.
Because the TOR stands for the Onion Router, which is basically the dark web and the deep web.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of the dark web.
I've heard people talk about it.
Right, but then there's torrent. So two different things.
Okay.
Peer-to-peer, that falls under torrent files. So you have peer-to-peer files, which is software that you can download and you can exchange files with users all over the world. TOR, T-O-R, standing for the Onion Router, is the dark web. That's a program that's where you can surf the internet anonymously and get on all these different sites. So do you know?
I don't know which. I don't know. He said TOR, so I don't really know which one.
That's fine. I just want to make sure I'm not, when you say TOR, I'm not thinking dark web, and while you're thinking peer-to-peer or vice versa.
No, I don't. So you're saying what? So are you saying what? I guess I'm still confused.
In terms of the peer-to-peer,
he said you can download I don't actually know, so I
Right.
guess I better not,
Okay.
not say if I don't understand.
And I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but I'm assuming because you said that they have peer-to-peer programs on these devices, that he was talking about torrent files, not TOR. Torrent, TORRENT,
Oh, I don't know.
as opposed to TOR. And there is a difference there.
So are you saying that is your question pertaining to which one?
I was just making sure that you and I were on the same page as to what you're talking about. But I don't think you're seeing the difference.
I don't see any difference
Okay.
as far as I mean, I don't know.
So your friend said that there's potentially on these devices.
Well, no. I have knowledge that there is something that says Tor on there,
Okay.
at least on one of them.
Gotcha.
And that has been. I'm just saying that was at his recommendation that I use those. And so and I don't know at what point.
Let's leave it at that,
right.
based on your description of
Right.
it. And what would you say the usage of the Tor?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it more for the business or is it personal? And look, I promise you,
I mean, okay, so I can't.
We're not here.
I can't speak to that because I mean you have my laptop, you have my phone, so it's probably split, down the middle. The office computer, probably the same thing.
All right. And I don't want you to think that we're here because
No, and
somebody's downloading music. We wouldn't.
So what are you here for then?
That's what we're getting at. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, is somebody communicating?
We do a lot of things with Homeland Security
Right.
investigation. We enforce over like 400 different federal statutes.
Okay.
Immigration, narcotics, gangs,
Yep.
and part of the other stuff we do is child exploitation. So we kind of work with saving kids essentially.
Yeah.
A lot of times we'll find through internet tips that people have, downloaded child pornography,
Okay.
stuff like that. And
So is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying is going on?
well, so what we're saying is there is a possibility that there are pieces to this puzzle where we might be able to help save children. Okay. And
Okay.
that's what we're trying to do.
Okay.
All right.
So what is the? I guess what is the scope is what I've been trying to say. Like, is there something going on my devices where that's been something's accessed or something's downloaded or uploaded or something like that?
That's what led us here. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're trying to do is hopefully find out exactly what happened so we can try to use that information to put some pieces of the puzzle together to help save.
Does it include? So did it mark this IP address? Is that basically what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So does it? So I guess in the scope of your investigation, is there going to be? I guess you'll narrow it down. You'll be able to figure out probably which device or which thing, or at least know if it's any of these devices that are here.
Well, that's what you see all these other guys running around doing. There are computer forensic analysts. So like even if something's on a computer that someone might have downloaded and then deleted, they're going to be able to find it.
Yeah,
they've been doing that. That's what they do.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we're just trying to get to the bottom of exactly.
No, well that helps me a lot to understand what you're here for. So I understand that. I respect that. That's good. So what other? I guess they'll do their work and figure out what they can find. So.
Has there been anything, let's say, within the last 5 to 6 months between yourself or any of your employees or any other associates that have been on this property that has raised a red flag as to why that search warrant or federal search warrant might have been signed?
Not at all.
Why we're here.
No.
Nothing that might have been accidentally or intentionally downloaded or uploaded from any of these networks or software programs that we've talked about?
Not that I know of.